Department. These guys love to say that they want refugees in their country. They just don't want them living in their neighborhoods. Almost all the Syrian refugees who have been resettled in Virginia are living in low-income, high-poverty communities hours and hundreds of miles away from wealthy D.C. suburbs, and that's not a coincidence. These people are living in cities like Newport News, Virginia, for example, which has 182,000 people that live there and a median household income of $51,000. That's well below the state average. But this community is expected to bear the burden of a decision that White House officials made.
Oh no, we showed a map there. We got the 3 cities there, none of which are in Northern Virginia near Washington, D.C., as you point out very clearly through some very good reporting. What's the rationale? What is the State Department, do they have any explanation as to why these locations as opposed to, say, wealthier areas?
No, there's no explanation. It's very obvious that they don't want them living anywhere near, where they live in D.C. And so they're putting this burden on these communities. And how is that fair to those people in those neighborhoods? Don't they have a right to say, where these people should live? It's great for these policymakers to make these decisions, and then they don't have to live with the consequences.
Well, you see this with all kinds of policies, with gun control. Hillary Clinton doesn't want you to have a gun, but of course her bodyguards are very heavily armed. I wonder, did they solicit the opinions of the people in Newport News and Charlottesville before they moved the refugees into their neighborhoods? Did they ask them?
Of course not. Of course not. And these people aren't happy about it. I mean, how would you feel if you're in a city of 180,000 people and you have 51 Syrian refugees who come to live with you? A poll shows that 69% of Republicans favor some type of temporary ban on Muslim immigration, and I think that's a legitimate concern that the State Department needs to address.
Well, I'm sure if you look at the polling, it's inverse of who actually wants refugees here versus Northern Virginia and the rest of Virginia. But that's where they place them, of course, because the elites, they know better than us. Not just guns, but walls, right? They always get walls. And
so they get to feel virtuous, and the rest of us pick up the consequences. Caitlin Collins of the Daily Caller. It's great to see you this morning. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
Last 8 years, we've delivered real progress for our veterans. Since I